How did a nose get inside my food? Sarah's scream pierced through the afternoon chaos at Mama's Kitchen in Ikeja, Lagos. The aluminum tray slipped from her trembling fingers, clattering onto the stainless steel prep table. Sauce splattered across her uniform as she stumbled backward, her eyes locked on the shawarma wrap she'd been about to devour during her 15-minute break. There, nestled between the shredded lettuce, tomatoes, and what was supposed to be spiced beef, was something that made her blood run cold. A nose. Not just any nose, but one she recognized immediately. The slightly crooked bridge, the small scar cutting through the left nostril from a childhood accident. Emeka's nose, her coworker who had vanished without a trace 3 days ago. The lunch rush continued around her. Customers shouted orders, oil sizzled in the deep fryers. The other workers moved mechanically through their stations, oblivious to the horror Sarah had just uncovered. But across the restaurant, through the haze of cooking smoke and afternoon heat, she saw him. Chief Okafor, the owner, standing perfectly still near the grill station, watching her. His face was calm, almost serene, but his eyes told a different story. They were cold, calculating, and they held a message Sarah understood immediately. You know too much. Let me take you back to where this nightmare truly began, back to when Mama's Kitchen was just another struggling restaurant in Lagos, and Chief Okafor was just another desperate man making desperate choices. 6 months earlier, the fluorescent lights in Mama's Kitchen flickered constantly, a symptom of the unpaid electricity bills that kept piling up in Chief Okafor's cramped office. He sat behind his desk, surrounded by red-stamped invoices and threatening letters from suppliers. The restaurant that had once been his pride, his escape from the corporate world, his dream of independence, had become his prison. The numbers didn't lie. 12 employees on payroll, rent 3 months overdue, the meat supplier demanding payment before the next delivery, the vegetable vendor who'd started accepting only cash up front. Chief was 53 years old, and watching his life's work crumble felt like dying slowly. He tried everything legitimate: bank loans, denied; investors, uninterested; cutting costs, already done to the bone. That's when the dark thought first crept into his mind, late one night as he sat in his empty restaurant, a bottle of ogogoro beside him and desperation clouding his judgment. What if he could solve 2 problems at once? The first one, Bayuden. Bayuden was 24, quiet and forgettable. He'd been washing dishes at Mama's Kitchen for 8 months, sending most of his salary back to his mother in Ibadan. He lived in a single room in Mushin, had no close friends in Lagos, and his phone was so old it barely held a charge. He was, Chief realized with chilling clarity, someone who wouldn't be missed right away. It was a Friday evening when Chief approached him. The dinner shift had just ended, and Bayuden was scrubbing the last of the pots with his usual quiet efficiency. "Bayuden, my boy," Chief said, his voice warm and fatherly. "I need your help tomorrow morning. Some special preparations for a big catering order. Come to my house in Surulere around 6 a.m. I'll pay you extra, 3,000 naira for just 2 hours of work." Bayuden's eyes lit up. 3,000 naira was almost a week's wages for him. "Yes, sir, Chief. Thank you, sir. I'll be there." Chief wrote down his address on a piece of paper, watching Bayuden fold it carefully and tuck it into his worn wallet. He felt nothing, no guilt, no hesitation, just the cold calculation of a man who'd already made his choice. That Saturday morning, Bayuden arrived at Chief's compound promptly at 6 a.m. The house was modest, a 3-bedroom bungalow behind a high fence with neighbors who minded their own business. Chief had prepared everything the night before in his garage, which he'd converted into a makeshift butchering room. Come in," Chief said, leading Bayuden through the side gate. "The meat is in the garage. Heavy bags. I need your young muscles." Bayudin followed without suspicion. Why would he? Chief Okafor was a respected businessman, a churchgoer, someone parents pointed to as an example of success. The garage door closed behind them with a metallic clang. What happened next took less than 5 minutes. Chief had watched YouTube videos, studied anatomy diagrams, and practiced on goats he'd bought from the abattoir. He'd learned that speed and surprise were essential. Bayudin never saw the hammer coming. By noon that Saturday, Chief was back at the restaurant with 4 coolers of beef pre-cut and marinated in his special blend of spices, heavy on the suya pepper and ginger to mask any unusual taste. The meat went straight onto the grills. New supplier, he told his workers with a smile, better quality, better price. That weekend sales were the best they'd had in months. Customers couldn't stop complimenting the meat's tenderness, its unique flavor. One regular, a banker named Mr. Adeleke, came back 3 times in 2 days, each time ordering double portions. Chief watched the money pile up in his register and felt something shift inside him. The guilt he'd expected never came. Instead, there was just relief and the dark realization that he could do this again. The second one, Ngozi. Ngozi was different from Bayodun. She was 31, a single mother of 2, loud and opinionated. She'd worked at Mama's kitchen for over a year, always complaining about her salary, always talking about her children's school fees. But she had one crucial weakness: desperation for money. Chief waited 3 weeks before approaching her, long enough that Bayodun's disappearance had become old news, just another young man who'd probably gone back to his village or moved to a different part of Lagos without telling anyone. The other workers had barely noticed. People came and went all the time in Lagos. That was the city's dark gift to men like Chief. "Ngozi, I have a proposal," Chief said one evening after her shift. "I need someone to help me with meal prep at my house, twice a week, early mornings before you come here. I'll pay you 10,000 naira extra per month." 10,000 naira? Ngozi's eyes went wide. That was almost her children's school fees covered. "What kind of prep, Chief?" "Cutting meat, marinating, packaging. Simple work. You're good with your hands. I've watched you. You'd be helping me expand. Maybe catering contracts, maybe a second location. But I need someone I can trust." Trust. That word worked like magic. Ngozi agreed immediately. The first Wednesday morning, she arrived at his house at 5:30 a.m. Chief had her working on vegetables that day, onions, peppers, tomatoes, while he handled the meat in a separate area. He paid her the promised amount in cash. She left happy, already planning how to spend it. The second Wednesday was different. Chief had everything ready in the garage. "The meat delivery came late," he explained, leading her toward the back. "It's all in the freezer out here. Help me sort it." Ngozi followed him into the garage. The door closed. The hammer fell. Chief had gotten faster, more efficient. Within hours, Mama's kitchen had its next supply of special beef. This time, Chief introduced it gradually, mixing it with regular meat. He'd learned from the first time, too much at once might raise questions. But sprinkled throughout the week's menu, perfect. The customers noticed nothing. Or rather, they noticed that Mama's kitchen had suddenly become the best shawarma and suya spot in Ikeja. The lines grew longer, the reviews on social media glowed. Chief even hired 2 new workers to handle the increased demand, though he made sure to choose ones with families, with connections, with people who'd notice if they disappeared. He wasn't completely reckless, just calculated. The third one, Emeka. Emeka was Chief's mistake. Not in method, that had been perfected by now, but in choice. Emeka was 28, charismatic, and everyone's friend. He had a loud laugh that filled the restaurant, a habit of taking selfies with customers, and an Instagram following of nearly 3,000 people. He was visible in a way the others hadn't been. But Emeka was also getting on Chief's nerves. always joking, always talking, always asking questions. Chief, where did Biodoon go? Just disappeared like that? Chief, Ngozi's phone is switched off. Her sister came looking for her. Chief, this new meat supplier of yours must be amazing. What's his contact? My uncle has a restaurant. Too many questions, too much attention, too much risk. Chief knew he should wait, should choose someone else, someone quieter. But something had changed in him over these months. The first killing had been desperation. The second had been necessity. But by the third, there was something else. A dark satisfaction in the control, in the power, in literally getting away with murder while people smiled and paid him for the evidence. He approached Emeka on a Monday evening, using the same script that had worked before. Emeka agreed enthusiastically. Sure, Chief, your house in Surulere, right? Wednesday morning? I'll be there. But Emeka made one crucial decision that would change everything. As he was leaving the restaurant that night, he ran into Sarah near the bus stop. Sarah, guess what? Chief is finally giving me extra work. Wednesday morning at his house. About time, right? I've been here longer than most people. Sarah smiled and congratulated him, thinking nothing of it. Why would she? It seemed like good news. Wednesday morning came. Emeka arrived at Chief's house at 6 a.m. sharp, still half asleep but ready to work. He followed Chief to the garage, making jokes about the early hour, commenting on how organized Chief's setup was. The hammer came down mid-sentence. Chief had gotten very, very good at this. By Thursday afternoon, Emeka's remains were serving the lunch rush, his distinctive features carefully removed and disposed of separately. Or so Chief thought. Sarah's discovery. Sarah had been working at Mama's kitchen for 2 years. She was sharp, observant, and had started noticing patterns. Biodoon vanished. New meat arrived. Ngozi vanished. More new meat. Now Emeka, who'd specifically told her he was going to Chief's house, was gone. And once again, Chief had shown up with coolers full of pre-prepared meat. She'd kept her suspicions to herself, telling herself she was being paranoid. This was Lagos. People disappear for 100 different reasons. Maybe they'd found better jobs. Maybe they'd gone back to their villages. Maybe. But that Tuesday afternoon, during her break, she'd grabbed a shawarma wrap from the batch prepared for staff lunch. She'd unwrapped it at the back prep table, away from customers, and taken one large bite. That's when she saw it. When she pulled the wrap apart to add more sauce, something fell onto the aluminum tray. Something that didn't belong. Emeka's nose, still bearing that distinctive scar, slightly char-grilled but unmistakable. The scream came unbidden. The tray fell, and across the restaurant, Chief Okafor stopped moving. For a moment that stretched like eternity, their eyes met. Sarah saw the truth in his face. Not guilt, not panic, but cold calculation. He was already deciding what to do about her. Sarah, his voice cut through the restaurant noise, calm and authoritative. Come to my office, now. Her legs felt like water. The other workers glanced at her curiously, but kept moving. In the chaos of the lunch rush, her pale face and trembling hands were just another sign of stress. I need to use the bathroom first, she managed, her voice barely a whisper. She looked around desperately. The other workers were busy. The customers were eating, laughing, completely unaware they might be consuming human flesh. Her phone was in her locker. The exit was blocked by the lunch rush crowd. Chief, I just need a minute. Now. His hand closed around her upper arm, firm but not yet painful. To anyone watching, it looked like a boss guiding a distressed employee somewhere private. No one intervened. No one even looked twice. He steered her toward the back, past the office, toward the storage room that connected to the alley behind the restaurant. Sarah's mind raced. She could scream, but would anyone believe her? Would they hear her over the noise? And even if they did, Chief was respected, established. She was just a worker who might be having a breakdown. The storage room door closed behind them. Chief's grip tightened. "You found something you shouldn't have," he said quietly. "That was very, very unfortunate. Very unfortunate indeed." She tried to pull away, but his other hand was already reaching for the bolt lock on the back door, the one that led to the alley where delivery trucks parked, where no one would see or hear anything unusual. "Chief, please," she whispered. "I won't tell anyone, I swear. I'll forget what I saw. I'll quit today and never come back. Please." He looked at her almost sadly. "You know I can't let you leave, Sarah. You're a smart girl. You understand why." What happened in that storage room was brief and violent. By the time the lunch rush ended, Sarah had left early due to illness, according to Chief. He'd even made a show of looking concerned, telling the other workers to check on her later if they had her number. No one did. Sarah, like the others, had been somewhat solitary. She had an aunt in Ikorodu, but they barely spoke. No close friends at the restaurant, no boyfriend who'd come looking. Just another person in Lagos who could slip through the cracks. That evening, Chief made a special trip to his house in Surulere, carrying a large cooler. The next morning, Mama's Kitchen had fresh meat for the weekend rush. Present day. 6 months have passed since Sarah disappeared. The rainy season has come and gone. Mama's Kitchen is thriving now. Chief Okafor paid off all his debts, renovated the dining area, and even got featured in a local food blog as Ikeja's hidden gem. The restaurant runs with 8 employees now, a more manageable number. Chief has gotten smarter about his selection process. He only chooses workers who fit a certain profile: isolated, desperate, forgettable. He spaces out his special preparations by several months. He's even started sourcing some real meat again, mixing it in to reduce risk. On Tuesday and Thursday mornings, if you drive past a certain house in Surulere around 6 a.m., you might see Chief Okafor's car parked in the driveway, smoke rising from the garage in the back. The neighbors, if asked, would tell you he's an early riser who likes to prepare food for his restaurant. Such a hard-working man, such dedication. The customers at Mama's Kitchen keep coming, keep eating, keep leaving 5-star reviews online. "Best suya in Lagos," they write. "The meat is so tender it falls apart in your mouth. Whatever spice blend they use is absolutely addictive." Mr. Adeleke, the banker, still comes 3 times a week. He's brought his whole family now. His children love the shawarma wraps. Chief Okafor stands behind the counter most days, watching his restaurant buzz with life and success. Sometimes, late at night when he's alone doing inventory, he thinks about Bayoden, Gozi, Amika, and Sarah. He wonders if he should feel something: remorse, fear, guilt. But there's nothing except satisfaction, a problem solved, a business saved, and a city too busy to notice. Lagos moves fast. People disappear every day. Workers come and go. Life continues. And in Surulere, in that garage behind the high fence, Chief Okafor has a chest freezer that's currently empty, but won't stay that way forever. He has a new dishwasher starting next week, a quiet young man from Ondo State with no family in Lagos. Very promising, Chief thinks. Very promising indeed. The grills at Mama's Kitchen keep smoking. The meat keeps sizzling. The customers keep coming back for more. And somewhere in Ikeja, in the missing persons files at the local police station, 4 folders gather dust, marked as cold cases, assumed to be people who simply left Lagos like so many others do. Chief Okafor serves his customers with a smile, takes their money with steady hands, and sleeps soundly every night. Some monsters, it turns out, don't hide in the shadows. Some of them stand in plain sight, wearing aprons and serving food, while the city churns on around them, too busy to notice the bodies hidden in the meat. Mama's kitchen closes at 10 p.m. every night, but Chief's work is never really done. And if you ever find yourself in Ikeja, hungry for shawarma or suya, and someone recommends Mama's kitchen, maybe choose somewhere else. Or don't. After all, everyone says the meat there is absolutely to die for. To my YouTube channel and like this video. Then tell me where you are watching from. Thanks for watching.